Well, Gran is wigs, Steve is twigs, and Johnny's bones. I'll sing this impromptu song way down low, 'cause Johnny Cash sung like this to men on death row. Vinyl impressions. Let's start the show.
Go ahead, take us in, Grant.
I'm not recording yet.
That was
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Are we?
Is my right. Welcome to Bones, Twigs and Wigs.
Damn, baby.
The podcast about music.
Sometimes.
In case you couldn't tell by the beautiful rendition of Walk the Line, the Bones, Twigs and Wigs version of Walk the Line. This is Bones, Twigs and Wigs, and this is Vinyl Impressions.
Mm-hmm.
And again, in case you haven't figured it out yet, the record in question is a Johnny Cash record.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this record in particular, Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Maybe one of the most quintessential albums ever recorded
Yeah.
in popular music. From, I
love the
believe,
font.
1967, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys.
I
1967.
thought it was
That sounds
68.
right.
I'll check for you.
Well, he did
68,
a bunch
68.
of... He did, 68?
Mm-hmm. That's when he performed
Okay.
it. I think they released it the same year.
Yeah, because he did a decently sized run of prisons in the late 60s. But I think this was the first one, because it was definitely the one that he wanted to do for the longest time. 'Cause
It was like a comeback, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about this record is that Johnny he hadn't had a hit in forever.
Mm-hmm.
The record company I think was being a little hard on him too because he's a country guy and they're all about that post Beatles pop music in the late 60s. But so I think what happened was the Man in Black, he decided that because they weren't paying as much attention to him, he could kind of just do whatever he wanted. So what he ended up doing was he ends up getting some gigs booked for maximum security prisons around the country, which is kind of badass if you think about
Take
it.
some balls, that one.
Yeah, right. I mean, who else has done something like that? I know Metallica
did.
recorded a music video at a maximum security prison.
That's
right?
Saint Anger. Is it Saint Anger?
Yeah, that's Saint Angus song.
Mhm.
But
Is that with a snare drum?
oh god,
Crank, crank. Sounds like someone trying to break out of prison. That goddamn snare drum.
oh man, it's rough. But this is quite nice. I like this album.
Yeah. So before we get into it, for
Yo.
those who don't know, because I'm just discovering this myself, and correct me if I'm wrong, because this is all Wikipedia's sake. but no. So apparently he recorded, like, for those who aren't familiar with Johnny Cash, but know of Folsom Prison Blues, the original recording, the first very taping of it was 1955.
Correct.
In Memphis at a studio. And then, some years, like you said, some years passed. And then 68 is when he actually recorded it live at Folsom Prison. So that's the album that we're going over today. The live, recording.
Yes, the actual concert at the prison, not just
Right.
the song.
Right.
Although he does
Which,
open with the song.
Which is personally a lot better. It's a lot better album. It's just more organic, man. Like,
Oh, dude. This whole thing, it's like
Yeah.
this is kind of why I picked it for
Mm-hmm.
you guys. I thought because one thing that's really great about this entire concert
Mhm.
is that you're very aware that all of the audience is
our prisoners.
a prisoner in the prison,
Yeah.
and they never get to see anything like this. So they
Right.
are loud and
excited.
belligerent.
Yeah.
They're rowdy, and because they're such rough people who have done a lot of bad things in their lives, they cheer at the most odd times.
bro.
Like we brought up Folsom Prison, right? So Johnny Cash comes out, he opens his concert with Folsom Prison, and he gets a lot of respect from the prisoners because they don't actually do anything until he comes out and goes, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash."
Yeah.
And then, although you can also hear, like I guess the MC going out and telling them not to make any noise until he introduces himself,
Right.
and they show him the respect, and they do it, which is bizarre. And then when he's singing Folsom Prison Blues, the first song, he's like, "But I shot a man in Reno just to watch him die." You hear one guy go, you hear them cheer, and one guy going, "Woo!"
Yeah, like everybody was like excited about that.
Because they probably did kill a man in Reno.
That's it. I like that Johnny giggles so many times in this show, and he doesn't do that very often in life.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And that's the thing too. Like Johnny Cash was I was listening to it and disclaimer, man. Disclaimer. You gotta be in the mood for this album, bro. Like for real. Like if if it ain't your type, if it ain't your cup of tea, no pun intended, you definitely gotta be in the mood for it. But yeah, man. But he but it's like I said, like it is organic, and that's what I can appreciate about the whole project. There's a song on there. Let's see if I can find it. There's a song about like the dog or something like that. It's like a dog or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Dirty old egg-sucking dog.
Yeah. I love that song, man. That's probably one of my favorites on there because he's if I'm not mistaken, is that the one that he was like he couldn't stop laughing or something like that?
One of them, yes.
I was about to say they was like in the middle of the song, he's doing it, and I guess something happened, and he's just like laughing. He's like, "Don't make me laugh," and then the crowd's like, "Woo, yeah!" Like just like going crazy, and then he's like, the music's still going, and he's trying to like get back on, and he's like chuckling through the song for like a couple more lines, and then he finally gets it back together. But I love that, bro, because like most artists, man. And I guess it was the time period, but like we don't get that nowadays. Like most artists, if something happens like that, or if they laugh or whatever, and it doesn't kind of mesh, what I'm saying, with the project or with that particular song, they just stop and start all over. You know what I'm saying? But this cat, he was like, man, hit the tape, and we're just gonna keep it going.
Oh yeah, man. And the time they recorded this was like we did 2 shows. I think it was 9.
Yeah.
It's like 9 and 11 in the morning. So 9 in the morning, he stood there going, "My baby killed me, I just shot her down." Like, it's like 9 in the morning. It's like, that's... I mean, I presume they chose early in the morning because the prisoners might have been a little bit more tired early in the morning, so not as raucous. I don't know whether there's a reason behind that time-wise.
Maybe it's just good morning coffee, you know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe.
It's like, hey, let's just get it out the way and boom, boom, boom.
I don't know, considering what he says about the water, I don't know if they'd get coffee.
That's
true.
Like it was last time I was here, I got coffee. I got water, whatever. But this is the first gig he did there, so it makes me think he was actually in there in prison. So it's like, okay, then.
Right.
No, he never actually got locked up for anything.
Oh, right, really?
Cash.
That's
Like, he got busted a lot for having a bunch of amphetamines and being belligerently drunk a lot and all that sort of stuff. But he never actually like went and did any extended time in prison, which is it's another thing that he brings up a lot in the album. He brings up how much he keeps bringing up how much he admires all the prisoners. He's like, you got to put up with a lot of shit in here, and I could have very easily been one of you with all the shit that I've done in my life, And it's again like this is the first time you've ever seen anything like this too, a live album in a prison.
Right.
And yeah,
he's definitely a pioneer of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you just said it, Steve. Yeah, he did 2 shows. I think it was like a 9:30 and a 12:30. So I guess like morning show and after lunch or just before lunch show.
Yeah.
But this album, I think only like 2 songs on it are from the 12:30 show.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
it's more or less entirely just the first show. because apparently like the band was a bit rough on the second show for whatever reason, like exhaustion, or maybe they're starting to get a little bit about
like, they're getting too close.
Yeah, right.
I was very impressed. I didn't realize that Carl Perkins played guitar with him until this album. Until I had a look at it, and Carl Perkins is the pioneer of rock and roll and rockabilly and Elvis stuff, and he wrote Blue Suede Shoes. You know, Carl Perkins is an important dude. I didn't know he played.
It's another funny thing. It's another interesting thing about the album is that they put the support acts to open it up. They leave it in. They put the whole concept. You know, it's really cool. It's almost like just going to a gig. You know.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like. And what are the? Because if you listen to this album, you'll hear the warden or whoever it is. Every now and again, Johnny will finish, and then the warden will be like, Vasquez and Smith, please go to blah blah. Or, like they have duties, or so he calls out the prisoners every few songs. He calls out some prisoners that have to leave and go and do their duties or something like that. Whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, another reason I picked this one just because I've got a couple of records in my collection that just have really cool sleeves, and like this one. So you know, classic, you know, picture of Johnny on the front, but it opens up and you see the picture of the gig.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's sick. Yeah.
That's
on both sides.
That's a cool photograph.
And then also, you've also got also on the back as well. You can kind of see it. There's like a
handwritten.
I guess it's a letter that he wrote about the gig, which is really cool to read while you're listening to this. Because I'll just read you the first sentence. Mm-hmm. The culture of 1,000 years is shattered with the changing of the clanging, of the cell door behind you. Damn, like holy shit, it's heavy, man. But you know, everything seems like it's going to be super heavy, but then you get there and like the whole gig is really kind of upbeat, and the fact that he's singing all these really kind of down sounding songs about going to jail.
Yeah.
But because he's singing to guys that are already in jail, they laugh at it.
Right.
It's like, I've done that, I've been that, that's me.
Yeah.
He's singing about me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I love that.
I'm in Folsom prison.
I ain't getting out.
Hey, yeah, this is great. Like the booklet that comes with it is great. Like just more.
Oh, that's dope.
There's great pictures of it. Like, you know, picture of the prison, if you can see. Johnny outside the prison.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And and it's just like I'm a big fan. Like we've said this a bunch of times on these viral impressions, but you know, to have like the accompanying booklet while you listen to an album from start to finish is it's a big deal.
It makes it a natural experience rather than just listening. You're actually completely in there. You've got something to look at. You've got words to read along to. You're completely encapsulated in the thing.
Like, here you go. Is him and June and
like
all
Carl
the guys.
Perkins,
and Carl Perkins, yeah?
I think so. I can't see the picture properly.
Yeah. I can't believe he brought June Carter with him.
Right. That is what, when her voice comes on, like he brought June to the prison. Awesome. There's probably a few horrible rapists and all sorts of terrifying people there.
I know they were like gawking at her. Like, oh my God, we haven't seen a woman in a decade. Like,
it's like you might be Johnny Cash, but yeah, I'd like. I can imagine all the prison guards stood there going, no.
Yeah, this is my favorite one. It's him. Here he is, like shaking the hand of a prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think if I'm holding that right up to the camera for you
I
guys,
think that might be the guy who wrote the song.
Is that the guy?
Maybe that's just. I could be wrong. But the fact he's shaking his hand thing, maybe what's his name? I wrote his name. Glenn Shirley, who wrote.
That's right. That's right. He wrote. That's probably what it is.
But wait, so why is Glenn Shirley sitting in the audience?
Glenn Shirley was an inmate, and he was
he's
in and out
a prisoner
of prison
that wrote a song, and Johnny Cash performed it at the gig.
Yeah, and he just wrote a song and gave it to Johnny. I don't know how he got it to him, but he got it to him somehow. The lyrics. And every Johnny song is the same chords basically, but it just got the lyrics. And then the day before they did the gig, they sat there and went, let's put some music to it, and then performed it in front of him. Yeah. And something quite sad about Glenn Shirley, because I looked into it before. Mm-hmm. He was pretty much a career criminal. Obviously, a very talented wordsmith because the lyrics are beautiful. Then he finally got out of prison, and Johnny Cash tried to help him, but Shirley been in and out of prison so much. Being out of prison, he couldn't deal with it, and he ended up killing himself.
Dang, bro.
When he's early 40s, I think. So sad. But I mean, he
What's
was inside
that
for
movie?
armed robbery, so he wasn't like probably
he's
not
like-
the nicest dude in the world. But yeah, but
He's like that,
Very sad.
like that odd fella. Is it Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
Where the
you
the old
talking
fella
about,
gets out and then he like hangs himself on the rafters when he's because he just there's nothing for him outside prison.
Yeah. Yeah, you talking about the older guy, right? That had the pet bird and everything.
it's
Yeah,
so
man,
sad.
that was sad, man.
If you ever read the book, Stephen King, Shawshank, in the book, it's brutal. That really hits hard. Stephen King really knows how to turn a screw.
The movie, man, just the movie itself is like Jesus, like oh man. But,
One of my favorite.
But yeah,
favorite things. A lot of people don't think it's Stephen King either. They don't. I'm a massive Stephen King fan, so a lot of people like.
Yeah, I never read a Stephen King book.
Oh, phenomenal!
I never read books, so
At least you're not being prejudiced against a specific author. You know, you just just don't read books in general.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not like he's going. I only read Goosebumps. Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of this record just because I can appreciate effort and not just the actual recording because like and the song selection because almost every single song he picks, be it because he's trying to be a little outrageous or a little rebellious or whatever the reason is. It's ballsy either way. Like every single tune that he's singing is about being in prison,
right?
To the prisoners.
So
he's definitely thought a lot about the list. And you can tell by like if you actually do get the record and you can read like the letter that's on the back of the sleeve and all that, you can just tell how much he really cares about the gig. Like you can like a lot of love went into this one, and you can you can see and hear it because you can tell how big of a deal it was for Johnny Cash as well as for the prisoners when you listen to it. I can really appreciate that.
Yeah, because like I'm not a huge I'm not even gonna say I'm a fan. I'm not a fan of Johnny Cash. Like I know who he is. I've seen the movie and
Joaquin Phoenix.
I was about to
Walk
say
the line,
walk hard. Walk hard.
I'm sure people saw that and thought that was a real
Oh
thing.
yeah, man.
I shot my brother in half.
I cut my brother in half. Oh man,
You gotta try this marijuana.
Hey.
Oh, is it Bevian? No, it's great.
hey, side note, man. That little kid was killing that guitar, bro. He got up there and was rocking that joint. My man was playing that guitar, bro. I was like, yo, who is this kid, son? But anyway, I was about to say Walk Hard. For those who don't know, Walk Hard is it's a parody of not only the Johnny Cash biopic, but pretty much every musical biopic, like musicians biopic that's come out.
That's another word that you say weird.
What, biopic?
Yeah.
Or biopic? What is it?
It's a biopic.
Biopic? I've heard biopic. So
No. Keep saying biopic. Biopic is way cooler.
I guess. Well, tomato. But yeah, so
That one didn't stand out
crazy.
to me. I'm sorry.
But biopic man.
Shut up. So it's crazy though because I seen the Walk the Line movie. Awesome movie, by the way.
Fuck yeah. Joaquin Phoenix? Hell
Joaquin
yeah.
Phoenix kills it, yeah.
Phoenix, man. Phoenix killed it, bro. And what was dope too was just like there's a scene in there where I think like he's in the bathroom with his guitar and like his case. And like he opens it up and it's like a secret. I haven't seen it in so long, but it's like a secret compartment where he like holds a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like some drugs in there. And I was like,
Well,
dang.
there's the bit where the cops raid him and they take his guitar, they cut the strings off and just shake it, and out comes all the cocaine and
You know what I'm saying?
It's like,
I was like, bro, my man is a genius, son. Like, what's going on? You know, but you know, after watching the biopic, I actually, you know, kind of, I'm not gonna say that, you know, I liked him after that, but you know, he just kind of got my attention. I'll put it like that, you know. And yeah, but like I was always trying to figure out, and maybe I have to just watch the movie again, because I was like, why the hell is he having a concert at Folsom Prison? Like, I don't understand. And now I guess I understand, because
That's how the film starts, isn't it? It starts at Folsom Prison.
I believe so, yeah. And I guess that was like the highlight. Yeah, that's like the highlight of his career, you know. And now I know, you know, thank God for Wikipedia, because of course he recorded, you know what I'm saying, the Folsom Prison album in 55, and then in the movie they see, you know, we see like time goes by, he starts to like take this like, you know, this decline in his career, but then all of a sudden, boom. So you can see like you can see that he's like grateful for the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like he really enjoyed being there, and it was a lot of love in there, you know.
And he's also like recently clean, or at least he's been clean for a year or two at this point. So he's got his head on straight.
Mm-hmm.
With this tour, I know this tour that Carl Perkins. Well, I just presume they were all druggy and alcoholic.
He plays one song on the album, Steve.
I know. No, he plays every song. He's his guitar player. He plays with him. But Carl Perkins apparently in one of the gigs, not long before this one, on this tour anyway, was drinking like pints of whiskey. Like, I presume in America they sell like pints in like the bottles or something like that. Maybe that's what the pint is, rather than, I'm thinking literally like a pint glass of whiskey. It must be a bottle that's a pint. But yeah, he was doing that and ended up by the water with another pint in his hand, talking to God basically. And Johnny came up to him and they had a long chat, and they said, we're going to help each other stay sober. And that wasn't long before this gig. So I think this gig for all of them was like this big, we've made it type, you know. And it's like, say, the comeback. He hadn't sold a lot of records in a while. Country music was fairly out of fashion, and he stuck with his guns and decided just to push it even further by doing this type of, I mean, this stands out for anybody at the time, I'd imagine. It's not just another like has-been, like Johnny Cash at the time was looked at as a bit of a has-been, but he's doing it in a maximum security prison. So that's going to stand out to anybody and put him back on the map, I think. And then, you know, like going back into writing the songs he wrote.
It revitalized his career big time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we said before, he did a string of prisons. After that, I think he released a few more. Like he did San Quentin, right?
Yeah, San Quentin.
Yeah.
And you know, and towards the end of his career, he's like playing other people's songs a lot, and kind of regularly or semi-regularly at least releasing music until pretty much the day he died.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody who's, you know, like our sort of generation is probably gonna know Johnny Cash mostly for his Closer, that Nine Inch Nails cover, which is pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Have you ever heard while I'm thinking about that, have you ever heard like Trent Reznor talk about that cover?
I saw an interview a long time ago, but it was a long time ago.
There's a great clip of Trent Reznor, and he's talking about the first time he saw the video, because you know how he heard the Johnny Cash doing his song and he thought, that's weird. But then like when he saw the video, he just goes, well, it's not my song anymore.
Yeah.
Because like
there's not that many. It'd be quite interesting actually to try and come up with a list. That could make a quite good episode actually if we come up with a list of covers that are better than the original. I'm not saying it's better than the original in this sense. It's just, it takes on its own life. It's literally, it's Johnny Cash's song from that point onwards, definitely.
Well, dude, that song, there's so many cool versions of Sorry, I said I said closer, but I meant hurt, not closer.
That's why I was
Can you
trying to
imagine-
do closer.
Can you imagine Johnny?
That's when you said it. I was like, I thought I'd misheard you. That's why I didn't say. Because
Imagine Johnny Cash doing closer, like. You wanna fuck me like an animal. I wanna feel you from the inside.
When you said closer, I was like, I must have misheard that. You didn't just say closer. I'll ignore it, and you did.
I did. I meant hurt though.
A great song can be done in so many ways.
So many
Absolutely.
ways, man.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
but it
it's
has
any
to
way
be a
you can
great
think
song.
of.
Yeah, some songs are great because of who does it and how they do it, and they don't translate out of that, and that's fine too. But the best songs, I mean, like "Yesterday" is the most covered song ever because it's an amazing song, and yeah. I didn't have much more of a point than that. I thought I was going to wax lyrical, and I just realized my brain wasn't working. I was like, blah, 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 blah.
No, we can't. Well, we can't start talking about the Beatles on a Johnny Cash episode because the Beatles are like the antagonists of Johnny Cash's life. Him and Elvis, man, they didn't like the Beatles. I don't think, like, not too much.
No.
Those fucking 4 little mophead twats came over and just took all their fans and all the young ones too.
It's the British. It's the
British invasion.
Yeah, the British invasion, man. You know,
It's not like us British to invade countries. We never did that. Ever.
nah, real talk though. And I told this to Steve before. I was like, man, you guys could just come over here and clean house if you wanted to. Believe it or not. Like, you can be the ugliest man in the UK, come to the States and just open your mouth and say like a sentence. Oh my, just like I'm telling you, bro.
Johnny,
Like,
I'm telling you, man.
it'll be over.
Good looking black boy you throw out like that. You come over here and talk in your tones, you'll be doing all right. You'll be doing all right,
Trust
mate.
me, I know. I've done it before. but I just, I'm trying to.
Especially at the minute, there's a lot of white guilt going around, man. If you
know what I'm saying? It's like, it's like everybody likes a little chocolate, little caramel. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, man, it's like, we go crazy over like accents and just like, like when you hear somebody from a different place, even in the States, like within the States, like if I'm from one part of the States and I go somewhere else, like if I go like down south, like their tone and their accents are like completely different,
And yet you don't listen to Johnny Cash that much.
I don't, man. I mean, shoot, just like you guys said, it's the same chord progressions. You get tired after that, like after a while, bro. You like, hold up, man, this is whack.
That's another thing. So Steve will appreciate this. You notice that like every song is in a sharp key in this album. Like it's always in C sharp or G sharp.
Always.
I guess because he must have a capo on the first fret. He has to.
Yeah, because he just Folsom Prison's in F, I think. So he capo's first fret and plays it in E.
Yeah, he just leaves the capo on the first fret. The whole.
I was like Johnny Be Good by Chuck Berry's in B flat. Like, I don't know. I used to think a lot of the old recordings were just played back a little faster than they were recorded.
Well,
but
no, because
a lot of it was written on piano, I suppose. But
No,
not for
just-
Johnny. But
Well, no, because if you were in the 50s, you would be playing in B flat, E flat, F, because they're horn keys.
no, it's a horns and not the piano. Yeah.
Or it's just like if you were going to play like a rock and roll song or a rhythm and blues or just a blues, like you would always play on a horn track, but C sharp that ain't no horn key.
No.
Well, it sounds like he sat at a piano first and just played all the black keys. You know what I'm saying? Because like real talk. Like I know a few people who like they can play piano, but all they know is like all of the black keys. Like they don't really have like a music theory.
It makes that pentatonic scale.
So it's like it's just like you ask them to play like D or G or like, I mean, I guess they can play C because you don't have to worry about it too much. But they're just like, man, the black keys sound so much cooler, and it's like, man, go to school, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like take some piano courses, like for real. The black keys sound so much cooler. Stupid. But no, so real quick though, I was sitting here, that's why, like, for those who are listening, you're probably wondering, why isn't Johnny so interested in Johnny Cash? I actually am. I've been sitting here on my phone doing some research. So I just had this thought, and I was wondering what bands and musicians have performed in prisons over the years. I know as of recently, I don't really know any musicians that have, but I do know some stand-up comedians who have recorded their comedy specials at prisons, which I think is also really cool.
Who would have done it? Say, G? I'm trying to think, like, who would have done that?
Oh no, I got the list right here.
Didn't Kanye West perform in a prison? Am I going around the twist here?
Yeah, but it was probably empty.
I swear Kanye did something. Right, let me have a look.
Kanye West at the old Geelong jail.
He performed. He performed in the prison of his mind.
Yeah, he performed in a. Oh, he did. No, he did. He performed in Houston jail for his Sunday service.
Oh, so that was recent. Oh yeah,
that was recent. Yeah, I knew there was something.
Yeah. And you know what? And I can see that too because Kanye's like he's like a gospel artist now or whatever. Yeah, I say that quote unquote because I'm like, yeah,
we have to do
isn't
a Kanye
the gospel
episode.
all written about him?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a little weird, but I can see why he would want to do the like, if you see these Sunday services like videos and just the way that they're set up, is very unlike anything that we're used to, with like the choir not being in like a riser, but like in like a circular stage, and like the bands all like surrounding each other, and like it's really dope. So I can see him doing that in a prison, which is different. But anyway, so I found this list. So apparently, Metallica, in 2003.
Yeah, that was their comeback. That was like they released their Saint Anger album, and they wanted to shoot the music video in a maximum security prison, so they
they went to San Quentin.
Yeah.
That's pretty hard,
dude. It's a really cool music video for a really shitty album.
Yeah.
But Johnny, who else has played in the prison?
So I'm sitting here and I was trying to figure out, I was like, well, is Johnny Cash like the first to do it? And I don't think he was, but he definitely kind of set the tone, because you got Frank Sinatra. Frank Sinatra and the Basie Band performed for 3,000 females at the Lorton Reformatory in 1965. Man, like, this is and
who said chivalry's dead?
And it was a rainy afternoon, But yeah, man, you got
Sinatra. A foggy day.
Who else? I'm trying to find one that was like close around that time. Because a lot of people did it in like the 70s, like 71, 72.
I wonder why.
Yeah, and Big Mama Thornton. So she did hers in like the mid 1960s in Soledad prison, which I think is in California. Soledad, California. Yeah, but yeah, man, like just to name the few, bro. Bob Dylan and the Rolling Thunder, Sex Pistols, Grateful Dead, Bonnie Tyler, B.B. King. B.B. King was at Sing Sing prison in 72. Hey, Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana was at he performed Black Magic Woman, Brotherhood, Deeper Dig Deeper, and San Quentin. Yeah. So, check this out. The inmates in attendance of Bonnie Tyler's HMP Long Lartin.
That's
Larton.
Her Majesty's
Performer.
Prison. That's what that stands for.
Oh, that's what that is?
Yeah.
Bonnie Tyler's Long Lartin performance did not take well to the show. The inmates did not take well to the show.
Yeah.
Limited seating, frequent interruptions, and lots of cameras, which were being used to film a music video, proved to be annoyances during the highly anticipated show. Yeah, so she there was no love in that. Like apparently, I guess she just did it for the.
There's a big difference
views.
between. There's a huge difference
Bonnie
between
Tyler
like
and Johnny
Cash. You know, Johnny Cash going to Folsom Prison and singing, "Well, they're building the gallows outside my cell. I've got 25 minutes to go." There's a huge difference between that and.
I need a hero. I need a hero to run until the morning light. He's got to be strong and he's got to be tough. I'm like, she's going to sing that to a group of inmates. I'm like,
Villains.
right?
She's going to sing it to the villains, yeah.
I need a hero to a group of people in prison.
Glenn Shirley too. Apparently, when Glenn Shirley, the guy that you guys just brought up, when he actually was released, he became an artist and he recorded his live album in a prison. So he did the same thing. Mac, oh man, you guys got to see this album cover. Mac Vickery, you guys heard of him?
No.
I don't know what type of music this is, but he performed and recorded an album at Julia Tutwiler Prison for Women in Alabama, 1970. But man, this album cover is killer, bro.
Oh, nice. What is that writing?
Man, okay, I've got a theory. I'm starting to formulate a theory about these guys playing all women's prisons.
Yeah,
Like,
you gotta do it for the ladies, man.
like Sinatra's going in to get them conjugal visits, like
You know what I'm saying?
breaking records.
But no, I was gonna say, yeah, man. So like that thought it just popped in my head because I was like, I wonder who else, has done this, and and I guess we still have people that are still doing it. I've seen a lot of comedians do it. I just saw a video with do you guys know the Professor? He's the basketball player, white guy. He's oh man, yeah, you guys probably wouldn't know. But there's this old like basketball team / brand called And One. And they used to have like these basketball tournaments where it's almost like the Harlem Globetrotters. Like these dudes, like they did not follow regulation NBA rules. They just kind of like did whatever they wanted to do. But it was so like crazy. Like it was like a circus act almost. So anyway, the Professor is like this dope basketball player, handles for days, and there's a video of him on YouTube where he actually goes to a prison and he just kind of walks in there. They got a basketball court and he's just in there balling. And people are like, "Oh my God, man, I used to watch all your videos, bro. And like, I love you, man. Like, can I play you?" And like, he's like literally like crossing people up, breaking people's ankles, and they're just like falling in love with it. And I'm like, bro, I would be so scared, son. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you cross somebody up, bro. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's disrespect right there. But I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool that, a lot of people like they're taking that time to go visit these prisons and actually interact with these prisoners. Cause like some of these cats, man, they in there for life or they're in there for like, over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? That's a long time, bro. Right. And I'm not saying that, they deserve to have that, that type of entertainment, but but then again, I am saying that. So yeah, I said
prison. Well,
it's definitely on a case by case. Some people are inside for weed. It's like,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, prison is inherently designed to, like, for people to, like repent for repent their sins, pay their dues, and like get brought back into society, a reformed human being. So,
yeah. But I mean, that's the idea. Obviously, in like Johnny coming in or different people coming in is gonna give some light to the darkness, give something to look forward to. But what prison tends to do is make smaller criminals worse, habitualize people, and take away any hope. And especially in the States, just found out recently, you get out and you can't vote. You get out, you're going to struggle to get a job.
Yeah.
Because even though you've paid your dues to society, when you get out, you haven't.
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense to me. So it's like, it's a life sentence. Second you get done for something, if it is something very, very serious, then, if you've gone and killed somebody and whatever, raped somebody, then screw you. I don't care. You can rot. But those people who make little mistakes, and then for the rest of their lives, they have that there. That's not, you're not being allowed to repay. I always find that a weird part of the system that's just broken.
No, it is crazy, man, because like you got people who get out and then they're like stuck on parole. They have a PO. And they have to check in with this parole officer, and then like the moment that you slip up and you don't check in, it's like, you end up going right back to jail. And it's like, bro, you serious, man? Like, all right, so like my phone can't run out of batteries. Like I can't like oversleep. You know what I'm saying? Like, you serious? Like, for real? And then like if it's any like drug related thing, or like if you were under the influence and that's why you went to jail, man, it's just urine test after urine test after urine test just to make sure that you stay clean. So yeah, like you said, like you're a prisoner, like on the outside just as well as you are on the inside. And when I mean inside, I mean inside prison. I'll be honest with you, man. I got a family member. I don't know how he got this set up, but I got a family member back in the day. He ended up getting like, a few DUIs and things like that. And for the weekend, and I do not understand this. All week he can stay home, he can work, he can do whatever the hell he wants. But when the weekend comes, he had to go to jail for like a certain amount of time. Yeah.
How's that work?
What? It is, yeah. So he would, he would have to be there at a certain time on I think like late Friday, and then he'll spend the night at the jail until like Sunday or Monday morning. And I guess that's to like maybe stop him from going out, but then also show him like, yo, if you don't get yourself together,
this will be all the time, yeah.
Right, you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be here like, you won't get these free breaks, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think we call that an open prison here. I could be wrong, but I think it's called an open prison where they do that specific time. You're allowed to go out and shop, you're allowed to go and see your family, but you have to come back. I think that's what it is.
It's crazy. I also got another family member. But anyway, I got another family member who back in the day when he was locked up, like it was weird, man. Like he was at this prison where like they didn't have like uniforms or whatever. Like you can wear regular clothes, and then you can get out and do, you can have like a job. It's only like 10 cents a day or 10 cents an hour or something stupid like that. But, like keep some money in your pocket and things like that. And it's all about just like the reform, and it's like that very minimum like jail sentence. Like, I don't want to say minimum prison or anything like that, because I don't even think it's prison. But it's like that minimum, thing that you have to do before you screw up again. And then, all right, now we got to, like take it above and beyond.
Well, you got like the Simpsons minimum security prison thing with Sideshow Bob. Like he starts the episode in the maximum security prison, and then he's like, "I'm gonna get out of this hellhole." And he looks around, he's in the minimum security prison. And they got like a rowing team and shit. He's just this big open gate. It's hilarious. I was gonna ask you boys though, like, have either of you guys ever played in a prison?
Like perform?
Yeah,
I almost did, man. Believe it or not, my one of my mentors, she's also like a minister, and she would go and teach. She would teach music at this particular prison. I think it was like Lorton, Virginia. I might be wrong, but there's a few like big time prisons around here. Lorton was like notorious for just like, some crazy stuff. That's another story for another time. But but yeah, but like she would go down there, man, and she would volunteer, and like teach and teach piano classes, teach saxophone for like certain like prisoners who were like on good terms. And she invited me one time to perform like a little concert. She was throwing a little concert for them, and then they were going to have like a concert where they can like play or whatever. I almost did it, but I can't remember what happened. I think the music program closed down. I think somebody
you remembered that heroin up your ass or something and decided not to go.
Man, you know what? It hasn't. It's not.
Didn't want to share.
It's not. It's kind of stuck in my digestive tract. So
That's a dangerous place for heroin to be, by the way. Just to let you know,
it's a bit far up the shelf,
But nah, man. But no, it's funny because if I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. Somebody took a string out of the piano that they had, and they choked somebody with it.
Yeah.
And it shut down the entire music program. So
I mean, yeah.
Christ,
shut
man.
down the entire program. They was like, yeah, man, we can't even have instruments in here, son. Like y'all good, Actually, oh snap! I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry. I have performed at a prison. I'm sorry. Let me share this one more story. One more story.
I'm gonna be the only person that hasn't performed in a prison.
I know. I had to think about it. I have. So I don't know if you guys remember me telling you, I have family in the Bahamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle is or my godfather, he's a pastor. So he does these like these prison ministries or whatever. And bro, like I go to this hot prison in Nassau, Bahamas, bro. And it's like bars are just like
well.
Man, like just like the bars and stuff are just not the bars, but like the gates are just like open. Prisoners just like walking around, and I'm like, what the hell, bro? Like, like y'all not gonna like get my man's right here, like But like all of the prisoners were like super chill, bro. It was the weirdest thing. And we go into like this like chapel. There's like a drum set in there, a little crappy piano, some mics and stuff like that. And I brought my sax and the prisoners are actually like really good. Like there was a song that was out and the guy hadn't heard of it, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we were like, hey man, like, you know this song? He was like, man, I can just follow you guys. I haven't heard it, but I can follow you guys. And I was like, you sure? He was like, yeah, man, what key you guys in? I was like, B flat. And like I started playing something, somebody started singing it, and he was kind of following along. Like his improv was like really good. So I was like, man, so this must be like all you guys do is just like come in here and just like practice,
Well, there's a lot of good art programs at a lot of different jails.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm trying to remember exactly where I might have read this in this Charles Manson book I'm reading, but you hear like jails. A lot of jails have like inmate bands,
right,
that play with like the police bands and stuff. They have concerts and all that. And apparently, like prison bands tend to be at like a 5th or 6th like grade level, which is pretty good considering you're in jail.
Right, like you can.
That's pretty.
And even like as like a listener, like you can. I feel like you can tolerate like a 6th grade level of like musicality. Like I can sit in like a 6th grade like spring concert at my nephew's school or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I was gonna say though, like down where I live, we've got a lot of old, 19th century sort of jails.
Yeah.
That are not being used anymore, but now they're kind of like tourist attractions and venues. So I've played, countless like weddings and 21st and 50ths and all this in prisons.
That's weird.
Dude,
look at me so surprised that Australians have a wedding in a prison. I'd not.
Mate, it's so weird though, because first of all, if you're if you're playing in a band at the old Geelong jail,
Geelong.
Which is the old G-Town jail. And jail, by the way, down here is spelled GAOL.
The hell?
That sounds Irish. No?
It is.
It's,
Jail.
It's still jail. It's just like the old jails are spelled the G.
Mhm.
You know, very Celtic-y. But
Yeah.
this Geelong one is really funny because it's not a very big jail.
Mhm.
You can walk around it pretty quickly. And people have like night tours of it and stuff like that. So they have all these cardboard cutouts of prisoners in the cells.
Oh no, son.
And dude, the amount of times that I'm like playing a song, and I just look to my left or my right, this out, and then there's just this like, here, hang on, I show you exactly what it looks like. Check this out.
This sounds terrifying.
Hang on, hang on, wait.
You set off an alarm.
No,
if
so
you're
it
just
looks
listening
kind of like
to the
this.
podcast and you haven't watched, then
Oh man, yo, yeah. If you're listening to this, make sure you go to YouTube and just check out what he's doing right now. It's hilarious. Oh man, I can't even explain it, but please watch.
I love my new lights. They're great.
But if you guys ever get a chance, man, and like in any way, shape, or form, to perform at a active prison, like with inmates, not perform with the inmates, but you know,
It's very
like,
easy for us to do this.
it is, man. Like they're always looking for entertainment, you know. Speaking of you know, like musicians in prison, man, there's a reggae artist named Ja Cure, one of my favorite artists, man. Like his voice is just like out of this world. And he actually recorded, if not, I think it was his first album. He actually recorded the whole thing in prison. He went to jail for something, and the prison that he was at had a studio inside. It was a crappy studio, but you know, you can record. You know what I'm saying? It had Wi-Fi, so you know, so he could like send it or whatever. But yeah, man, like that whole album, I got to send you guys the link.
yeah, great.
Beautiful songs, man, and like you know, you can just tell like it was definitely for the people who were locked down just like him. And reggae is just a little different too, because it's like he could have wrote it for like people who were like on the outside as well, who maybe felt like they were in like a mental prison or whatever. I'm just speaking artistically, but you know. But no, like legit, like it's a awesome, man. Like if anybody out there, if you guys know who Ja Cure is, make sure you leave that in the comment, man. You know, because he's and if you don't, just look him up. JAH Cure, like the cure for cancer. So yeah, recorded the whole album, bro. Whole album in the in prison, behind prison walls, and awesome album.
What's your favorite track from Old Folsom Prison?
Yeah,
You like the dirty old egg sucking Doug?
Yeah, it was funny.
I am tempted by the 25 minutes to go because the gallows humor, the fact it does tick down 25 minutes, and then it just all of a sudden is like, and then I'm swinging on the rope. Always said rope.
And I'm swinging, I'm swinging, I'm
Yeah.
swinging.
He does that by the microphone.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That's my pick. That's my favorite one.
Like creatively, it was interesting because like I'm driving as I'm listening to this, and I'm like, oh snap, he's counting down, and then I'm like, well dang, it's getting kind of dark. Like what's going to happen when he gets to one? You know,
that song as well. I get really drawn to that song because it does. It's got a really kind of, I want to say rare key change. Like he starts it out.
Yeah,
he starts in for like forget the capo thing. Let's say that he starts in G, and the band comes in, and then he changes down to E, and then he goes back to G. So he does like the same key changes that To Be With You by Mr. Big does, but in reverse.
It's weird. Johnny likes his key changes.
yeah.
I think that, to be honest,
Yeah,
like I think 25 minutes to go, I think it's
Oh,
probably
that
my
was
pick.
you.
But Greystone Chapel was one of my other ones, and he didn't
Yeah.
write it. I just thought because the inmate actually wrote the song and was there, and he got to see Johnny Cash perform it, I just think that is just a special song.
that's-
And it's got
that-
June doing backing vocals on it. It's got them all there on
Yeah.
stage. So I think that's a special one as well. So.
I can definitely say that one too. I didn't even know that until you just said it. I think that's amazing, man. And then like just being able to shake that man's hand, you know, like you probably made my man's day, you know, and and then I
Made
would
his
like to
sentence,
say,
maybe.
right, you know, I would like to say right after that, he got released because you know after doing research. Like I said, like he became an artist as well, and he did his concerts and live album in like '71. Johnny did that recording in like
68.
'78. It released in like not '78, 68,
yeah.
and then it released in like '69. So all of that stuff was like boom, boom, boom. So you know, yeah, it's funny how like that timing was like my man made my man's life right there.
Yeah.
You know,
And then sadly,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, you know, just once again, it's just a really, you could just tell how much care and effort has gone into it,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably a very big reason as to why it's like really maintained its status as like one of those records that you have to hear before you die. You know,
Yeah.
it's had that status for forever. Like it's a big like monumental part of not just Johnny Cash's career, but of like music history and all that. I think rightfully so. Like it's just a great album. It's funny. It's weird. It's
I keep saying it, man. It's organic, son.
Yeah,
it's very organic. Like
real.
he's just up there having fun, and I love hearing that in live performances, live albums. People always try to stick to the script, you know, and it's like, bro, just do your thing. That's why, like, you know, like back when we used to jam, you know what I'm saying, and you know, and like used to play in the pubs, man. Like I wouldn't care. I'm like, yeah, I know we gotta like appease to the guest or whatever, but man, you know, we're up here having a good time, bro. You know, you guys having a good time. We all just vibing, and yeah, man.
Yeah. I've always said that what's inherently more important at a performance is that you're having fun.
It has to be, bro.
Because if you're having fun, that will like intrinsically like translate and viscerally translate over to the audience, and they will inherently have more fun as well. They will rise to your level of enjoyment.
Yeah, man.
All right, that'll probably that might do us though. I think
yeah,
Oh,
this
yeah.
has been fun.
I like this
It's
album.
good to.
It's a
Yeah,
good one. It's alright.
it's all right.
It's alright.
It's in my key in the morning. It's nice. Steven's just got out of bed.
Yeah, this has been an interesting week of Final Impressions recordings. It's been the modern recorded ancient technology 7-inch,
Yeah.
the Pink Floyd album that Steven picked just to annoy me, I think, and then Johnny Cash at Folsom Prison. Like, nice eclectic
Definitely eclectic.
choice. I'm looking forward to next week's ones. All right.
Cool. Take us out, Grant. Let's do it.
I'm not going to be able to beat my intro song, so let's just say, you know, thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, all that. If you could be so kind as to give us a like, a share, a subscribe, a positive rating, all these things are greatly beneficial to us. They help us get ourselves out there a little bit more. If you have any albums you would like us to listen to or add to our collections for these Vinyl Impressions episodes, please do so. I mean, the whole idea of doing these Vinyl Impressions episodes is so that we can expand our own little music collections and palettes. So, you know, the more input from the people that are consuming our product will only help the product. But anyway, we're going to leave it here. This has been Bones, Twigs, and Wigs. If you haven't heard Folsom Prison Blues or Live at Folsom Prison by Johnny Cash, please go and do so, because it really is one of those albums that you do need to listen to just for the experience. It's just awesome. But I've enjoyed talking about it. I might just listen to it again. But we're going to leave you here now. And until next time, take care.
See you
Later, boys.
All right.